Hello there, my favorite robot enjoyers. I hope you all are doing alright so far into the new year. I was hoping you all would be interested in a top 10 best Transformers of 2021 list, just to send off that year once and for all, so we can be done with it. But yeah, Transformers were really good this year, weren't they? So I figured I'd show off a few of my favorites. You can join me, if you want. First, two things to get out of the way though. One, this is a list of my personal favorite toys that I got in 2021. Not necessarily just ones that released last year, although the majority of the entries are. And B, I'm personally very uninterested in the idea of ranking things that I believe to be of similar quality. It just comes across as very frivolous to me. When making this list, I didn't want to be like, oh, but this toy has better articulation. Ooh, but this toy has better parts count. Ooh, what about entertainment value versus build quality? Whoa. So please take the specific placement of all the toys on this list rather loosely, alright? They're all awesome, and they're all my favorite toys of the year. So with all that established, let's get this party rolling. Number 10. Taking his place in the 10th spot is Kingdom Megatron. This is as excellent of a modern update to Beast Wars Megatron as we're ever gonna get. The design is so thoughtfully and lovingly translated through, and both modes are screaming like a banshee, or roaring like a T-Rex, maybe. It's the kind of thing that makes me really happy that Beast Wars exists. 2021 was kind of the first time I ever figured out how genius it is to include real-world animal alt modes into the Transformers mythos, and figures like Kingdom Megatron really hammer that in. What more can I say except, yes! Number 9. Cyberverse Deluxe Slug. So I felt obligated to include this because it was easily one of the best surprises of the year. I mean, the Cyberverse Deluxes have been pretty good overall. However, this one just feels so next level. This is easily the best Cyberverse toy I own. Posability's nice, the axe is so neat, the transformation is wild. I don't know if it'd be wise of me to splurge on all the Dinobots if they ended up making them, but Slug's kind of making me want to. Hashtag Slug Life. Oh, that was awful. Number 8. At number 8 is Kingdom Rodimus Prime. So this was a long time coming for me. I've always wanted a great new version of Rodimus Prime that scales with the rest of the gang and turns into that awesome badass Space Winnebago mode, and Kingdom Rodimus scratched that itch hard. I get that it's popular to call modern generation's toys masterpieces on a budget, and regardless of whether or not you agree with that, this is really the toy that epitomizes that. This was the toy that lit our darkest hours. Number 7. Representing 7th place is Masterpiece Skids. I'm still kind of in awe that this actually happened. A masterpiece figure of Skids, as if. But this is a truly wonderful figure. It's so pretty and represents so much of what's cool about Transformers. The robot mode's so lovable and the car mode is adorable. I'll get into more detail on this in the future, but for now, this is just a non-stop delight. Number 6. Situated at the 6th spot, it's Studio Series Slug / Slag, if you prefer. What a year it's been for Slag to make the top 10 list twice, like, of all characters. However, I just can't help it. It is superb. It's not like there's much competition, but this is the greatest official toy of this character there's ever been. Also, shout out to Studio Series Grimlock, who is equally spectacular. I went for Slag for this list though, because he's had significantly less toys than Grimlock. So seeing him represented here in nice, solid leader class form is a real treat. I'm telling you, if they're really going through with making leader class figures of all the Dinobots, which they better, then I am all in. This is the best Slag I've ever seen.
You know who else is the best Slag I've ever seen? My mom!
Number 5. Starting off the halfway point, it's Studio Series Sweep. What an amazing word. Sweep. They're coming after all your chimneys. But like so many other entries on this list, it's really satisfying to have a nice Voyager-class version of Scourge. I think I ever so slightly prefer the Sweep because of the more vibrant colors, which on camera is almost imperceptible. But this mold is so good. They finally got the cape right! And his flying hot tub alt mode is hilarious. And the fact that they let this happen at all is just really funny to me. Number 4. Generations selects Galvatron. I've already touched on why I love this mold in the Kingdom Galvatron review, but everything powerful about that toy effortlessly transfers here as well. The colors of the G1 toy are so distinctive and unique, so having this version of him hits so right. He's got a glitter fusion cannon. Number 3. At number 3 is MPM-12 Optimus Prime. I'm so happy to have seen this toy get as much love as it has. Everyone clowned on the promo photos of this toy's truck mode cat ears, I saw ya. But wouldn't you know it, once we got him in hand, he was nothing short of beautiful. Like Skids, I think this represents a side of Masterpiece I much prefer. Just a high quality, pristine toy that you can have fun with and looks great, rather than something that's constantly trying to impress you with how complex its transformation is. For a representation of the Bumblebee movie's Optimus Prime, it is lovely. This is legitimately one of the best robot modes I've ever seen. Pure joy. Number 2. In second place comes Studio Series Wreck-Gar. I just now realized how many 86 movie characters are on this list. I can't help it, alright? They're great. And Wreck-Gar in particular is one I was really hoping would happen for a long time. There's definitely a finally factor to it, since I've always wanted a straight up faithful translation of both of his modes to a Voyager class mold, and all the previous Wreck-Gars were so lackluster, but this one broke out in breathtaking fashion. For a character made of trash, his toy is nothing short of a treasure. So before we get to number 1, I wanted to highlight a few toys that were absolutely fantastic in their own right and deserve some recognition. Firstly, Beast Wars Optimus Primal is amazing. I'm shook by how much I like this as someone who didn't grow up with Beast Wars. Generation selects Ramjet. Just look at these colors. Yeah, that's all that needs to be said. The purple and light blue really appeals to that queer synthwave part of me. Cyberverse Scout Class Windblade. Considering her size, she's really fun. And this toy was gifted to me by my best friend, so I have some fond memories attached to this thing. Plus, the Turbine Thrash gimmick is actually pretty cool, and that happens to be my favorite genre of music. All the Kingdom Core class toys were really good and super fun, but I think Starscream is my personal favorite. For such a tiny toy, the transformation is pure genius. Speaking of which, Revenge of the Fallen Voyager Starscream is one of the most creative jet formers I've ever handled. And I gotta give some love to Studio Series Bumblebee movie Starscream. Yeah, I know, another Starscream. Wah, deal with it. Alrighty then, so that's enough of the honorable mentions. Let's move on to the top spot. Number 1. And now for my favorite toy that I got in 2021. It's movie 2007 Leader Class Optimus Prime. I am very taken by the first movie's toy line and its perfect imperfections. I've come to the conclusion that the early movie toys are a bit like my G1. The way that a 30-plus-year-old Transformers fans see those 80s toys, that's how I see Transformers toys that were released for the first 2 movies. And this was a figure I've wanted now for well over a decade. Everything about this toy is so endearing and charming. From the clicking joints to the lights and sounds, it's hefty and the bitchin' blend of colors work wonderfully. I just love it. The pure satisfaction I have to finally own this. There's really nothing like this toy, honestly. And stuff like this is exactly why I love Transformers. So there you go, my personal favorite Transformers of the year. Feel free to comment your personal faves, and I really hope we can blast into 2022 with all the optimism we can muster. 2022? That's not a real year! I really should say though, thank you so much for all the support you've given me this past year. I've been wanting to make a channel for a long time now, and I'm super grateful for all of you that have stuck around, posted comments and such. Or even if you're just scrolling around and happen to click on this video, thanks a ton. The idea that people watch this channel and like hearing my Transformers related thoughts is actually pretty insane, but it's endlessly appreciated. Really, thank you guys so much. Alright, so I'll catch you all later with new reviews. Please keep safe, keep hopeful, and be excellent to each other. Party on!